Okay guys, I've given up trying to do live stuff this weekend, and I'm hoping it's just the weekend, but my internet has been terrible and nobody's getting any notifications of anything. My live stuff, my premiere, and when I say nobody, I mean really maybe a few of you got a notification, but for the most part people are not getting notifications. I have supposedly 4.64 thousand subscribers. This was well over 4,700, but they've been purging and purging and purging people. And it's been coming down every single day. It comes down, and it's come down in big chunks. So I'm not getting any views really much anymore. And whatever they're doing is really working very well. So I don't think anyone's seen this. 8 people have liked it, but I have a new raffle. Usually you guys get in on these pretty quickly, but nobody has gotten in on this one. I was hoping to fill this membership raffle by tonight, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. These things happen, and I've just got to work harder, which is what I'm trying to do right now by doing this instead of live and recording this video currently, hoping that more people will see it, I guess, because when it's going live, it's buffering so badly, and nobody's coming on, and nobody's telling me if they're there, and nobody's telling me if they can hear me. So hopefully this goes better. All right. And I wanted to mention, and as part of this stranglehold, my video that I premiered last night in 17 hours has only had 119 views. And that's really, really small. A really small amount of views for one of my, mini documentary type of videos. And I do have playlists that I put these things in because hoping that would somehow, I guess it didn't go in this one. Interesting. I'll have to add it to it. Anyway, it is one of my mini documentary deep digs. Yes, I would really love it if you guys would share it, because this has been a lot of work for me, and it's really exciting to me what I've come up with and uncovered and learned myself. So I know that you guys are watching it, and I appreciate it. I really, really appreciate the devoted viewers that I do have. And I'm hoping that we can get this to more people, because it isn't about me getting likes and subscribers, guys. It's about saving souls. It's about teaching people truth and helping them come to know the Lord. That's what we really want. We want more people to know who Jesus is and to have a relationship with Jesus. So that being said, I had some articles I wanted to talk about. First, though, I wanted to mention that I got in on some live stuff, and I've been getting on Twitter accounts like Bryson Gray and stuff of these right-wing Black MAGA supporters, and I have been asking them about B0ULE, and that's B-O-U-L-E. If if you don't recall, I've done several videos on that, and it's been a while. But you can see here I did some talking points on it, and it gets demonetized, as you see with the yellow thing there. But as I've asked these guys these questions, they don't answer me. They don't answer me at all. They don't say, I don't know what that is. And I even got in on a live video with these guys, and they would answer other questions that I asked or speak on it, and they would repeat it. They'd say it out loud. They'd see you, so they were seeing me, and they were reading through questions that were in the chat, and the chat wasn't too busy. So I would say several times something about B0ULE, and then I'd say something else, and they would read that question. So what is it with the right-wing Black American MAGA supporters that don't want to talk about this and aren't willing to? What is being told to them? You can be this right-wing person and don't go out and know these things or talk about it, because it's not like they asked, what is it? They know what it is if they're not saying, what are you talking about? What is that? They know what it is. Why are they ignoring the question? That's what I want to know. So anyway, please give these things likes. It actually is supposed to affect, if I have more liked than not liked, it's supposed to help my viewership, but nothing's helping my viewership anymore. And I kind of feel like giving up some days, so I don't know, pray for me. All right, moving on, I wanted to go over this article that says, we have no reason to believe 5G is safe. And I have thoughts about this, because this is Scientific American. These are the supposed scientists, but they actually go into the health risks and the possible problem of 5G, and they've been under a lot of stress from a lot of people are speaking out, which is what we need to do, guys, is speak out and say, no, we don't want this. And because a lot of people are speaking out talks about the behavioral changes in rats exposed to microwave radiation and the short-term risks due to these exposures, the radio frequency radiation, and why they adopted these limits in the first place. And it goes on to talk about these exposure limits, what they can do. Numerous publications have shown that living organisms have side effects, bad side effects, cancer, cellular stress. That's a thing that we know for sure, because when the telephones first came out, a lot of these operators were reporting high levels of stress and inability to sleep and anxiety and depression. And so if that was happening just from the telephones, I mean, wow. So they're saying these are the effects and the problems that we're going to see. Effects increased cancer risk, cellular stress, increase in harmful free radicals, genetic damages, structural and functional changes of the reproductive system, learning and memory deficits, neurological disorders, and negative impacts on general well-being in humans like depression, anxiety. Damage goes well beyond the human race, obviously, as there is growing evidence of harmful effects to both plant and animal life. So they're admitting this. They're saying that we admit this, and this is dangerous, and yet we're seeing 5G go up, and we're seeing Donald Trump supporting it. Now, what I want to say about this is, if he is truly the stable genius that I want to believe he is, and you want to believe he is, then perhaps he's been supporting it so much so that all these people that hate him, that obviously push global warming and other false narratives, maybe that they're going to say, oh, it's really bad for you if he loves it. I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch. Maybe that's a silly thought. But that's my hope, because I'm really hoping that that's what's going on, that he's pushing his love for 5G, and now you see this article coming out, oh, it's bad. Oh, it's bad. Is it just because they hate Donald Trump and he wants it? Supposedly? Allegedly? I don't know. It was my thought, and I wanted to share it with you guys and see what you think. And I would love some comments. Let me know what you think. Comment. Talk to me. So, more transhuman news. Why I'm turning my son into a cyborg. This is a very long article, but this is basically a woman who was a CIA employee. She even admits to being CIA in this article. And she talks about her autistic son and how she reprogrammed his insulin pump and was interested in this facial recognition software, or not software, technology, because it helps her son either read our expressions or us read his. I didn't really totally get it, but it doesn't matter. The point is she's pushing facial recognition that's going to help our autistic people, and she's also pushing the idea that we should let our autistic kids, let them stay autistic. She's going against the idea of curing the symptoms of autism, and I think that's because of the push for vaccines, so that we'll all go, oh, it's okay. There'll come a time where it's no longer an argument about autism and vaccines, because our autistic kids, oh, we want that. I love my autistic kid. It gave him the personality that he has. Now, I understand making lemonade from lemons, and God can make good from bad, right? Because I understand that you can make a bad situation good with the love of the Lord and knowing God. However, you don't have to say, oh, it's okay. They're going to be the person that God made them because we shoved a vaccine in their body that completely changed their human nature as they were born. Now, autism isn't something you're born with. It's something that happens when you get a vaccine, or possibly other things that I'm not sure could be the cause. So if that's the case, it changes who God made that person. That person wasn't supposed to be like that. So when you change after the fact in such a drastic way the personality and everything about that person that they were going to be, and all their capabilities and all their potential, that is satanic. And if that's satanic, then this woman is pushing a satanic agenda, and she even admits she's CIA. Very scary to me. Not scary, don't be scared, but be forewarned. It's very scary for other people who want to accept something like this and say it all ha-ha, tongue-in-cheek, oh, I really wouldn't do all these horrible things that she mentions, that all these horrible thoughts that she went through her head of being able to use this kind of technology. She goes in here and talks about, oh, I thought of all these terrible things, but oh, ha, 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 I wouldn't really do that. Don't worry about it. Interesting that this is all the terrible things that she imagines, but don't worry, ha, 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 I really wouldn't do any of that. And it turns out I just want my son to stay autistic. So, okay, don't fall for it. That's not what they're supposed to be. They weren't born that way. They weren't made that way. and that's not what they're supposed to be. And some forms of autism are very severe. So why would she ever act like this was just a part of life and that people should just love their, of course you love your autistic child, but you don't have to have one. It doesn't have to happen. All right. Zoltan Istvan is back on the scene, and he's one of these big, huge transhumanist, has lots of money that he pushes into this and pours into it. He's a man who opens doors with a chip embedded in his hand, so he's already got that. He wants Americans to live forever, and he's now taking on President Donald Trump from inside his own party. The author, journalist, and leader of the transhumanist movement, which believes humans can use technology to transcend our current physical and mental limitations, is challenging Trump for the 2020 Republican nomination for president and will appear on the New Hampshire primary ballot next year. So this is an interesting push that he's trying to do. I doubt he's a Republican in any sort of manner, but, well, he could be. He's not a real conservative, certainly not a Christian. Our goal is to try to really get the GOP to embrace a new way of looking at the world, one that is futuristic and transhuman. Of course he has to, because the GOP is conservative generally, and so are any of the voting citizens that are conservative. But see what he says? I think it's quite possible to be fiscally conservative and open-minded, meaning he doesn't want us to be conservative in the way we think, just with our money. So he says, naturally, we're taking on Trump too, who I don't think is helping science and tech much. The Trump campaign didn't this goes back to what I said, is he's not helping science. And I'm going back to this and I'm saying, yep, I would say that's probably why they're telling us the truth about 5G. That's the only reason I can think of, because he's not helping them. Anyway, the Trump campaign didn't immediately respond. Isfahan is a 46-year-old former National Geographic reporter, previously ran against Trump in 2016, and I didn't know that because I had absolutely no knowledge of that election, to be honest. And I've talked about that. As a transhumanist party candidate. Well, he discovered that. So, okay, you see what's happening here, you guys? When it doesn't work for a smaller party, they've got to run as a Democrat or Republican. Now, they've learned that. This guy ran for some reason as a transhumanist party. I don't know what he thought he was going to get with that. I doubt he hardly had any votes. I mean, I think he received less than 100 votes nationwide. It says right there, less than 100 votes nationwide. So now he's saying, okay, we want our transhumanist agenda, and Trump is stopping that. And so is the conservative mindset. I mean, okay, look at Charlie Kirk. I got to go on this thing about Charlie Kirk, guys. Charlie Kirk is despicable, absolutely despicable. And I posted something about it today because I do not support the man whatsoever anymore. Not at all. I will not. But I can't support what he says anymore. This is the video you got to watch. He makes these totally, he goes off on somebody who's trying to say, why are you supporting the trans movement and the gay movement if it's not Christian? And he called himself a Christian. And his what he said is, it's Jesus sat with prostitutes and Jesus sat with tax collectors. Yeah, but Jesus didn't tell him to keep being prostitutes and keep being tax collectors, did he? Charlie Kirk. I mean, sickening. You got to watch this video, guys. Click on this. You got to watch it. It's The Amazing Lucas. You got to watch it. You got to. He did such a good job saying all the things I was thinking, but and still cannot really quite get out the way he did. Very well done. You really got to watch it. But they're like, okay, the right, they aren't pushing our agenda anymore ever since Trump came in. So we got to get the right to want to push our agenda. So this guy, as a transhumanist, is running as a Republican, but he wants us to open our minds, like Charlie Kirk wants us to open our minds. Let's stop living scripturally and live do as thou wilt. Do as thou wilt. Okay, so that aside, obviously he's friends with Hillary Clinton and some of these other people. He knows it's not going to work to run for the left, so he's going to have to run as a Republican. So he's infiltrating the Republicans. I don't call myself a Republican anymore. I'm right. I'm to the right. I'm conservative. I mean, I'm so far right, sometimes I just think I'm libertarian, right-wing libertarian, not left-wing libertarian. I'm not Antifa. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, anyway, I told you guys about that video about competing with China. This is a big deal. It's a big deal. This is going to be the push for the beast, and I think we could get more time let's not let the revelation happen now. Let's get more time and not let this stuff happen. It's up to us to stand up against these things. So this was kind of funny and interesting. This is not cool. Astronomers despair as SpaceX Starlink train runs observation of nearby galaxies. And so apparently all these satellites that are going up, allegedly, could this just go away? From Elon Musk, are blocking the ability to see out to space. So it's almost like he's creating his own firmament, visually speaking, because it's blocking somehow the ability for other satellites to see out beyond his satellites. Very, very interesting. So it's, yeah, he wants to put up even more than all of the alleged ones he has up now. And what's he really trying to do? He's trying to create worldwide internet, but if he's blocking all these other satellites, kind of sounds like Skynet to me. Yeah. And oh, bummer, somebody's not cool with it. Not cool. So, I mean, tell me what you think. Comment what you think about all this stuff, guys. Like, what do you think? What do you want to do about this? What are we going to do? How can we share this information so that people see it? We can't do it just by watching the video and not commenting and not sharing, right? We got to share this stuff. This is about saving souls, not about me. Forget me. I mean, forget anything I ever say. I want you guys to learn for yourselves with me. We're learning together. So I wanted to talk about the uprisings. Looks like Chile is now having uprising, and what they were able to do is take this drone down with laser. These protesters in Chile were able to bring down this police drone with a swarm of laser pointers. Okay, so what are the implications of this? Talking these strong green lasers. I think they're stronger than your regular red laser. I'm not sure. I don't have all the knowledge of lasers, but you guys can find out. But this is amazing. They don't have weapons. They don't have guns. And maybe we do, but we should also be getting some lasers, because if you look at China, they were Hong Kong. If you look at Hong Kong, they were able to block their facial recognition with lasers that were shining out from their faces. So I actually saw this and I was thinking lasers are a pretty good idea to keep handy along with everything else that you're prepping together. So, and not just these uprisings are now going on everywhere. We've got Venezuela, we've got Chile, we've got Hong Kong, we've got Paris, we've got Germany, the UK, and Iran. These people are now burning down banks. They burned down 100 banks as well as the central bank. So what could this be? This could be the Rothschilds is trying to get into Iran where they've never been able to quite infiltrate. Or it could be because they really are protesting and sick of this crap. So I'm sick of banks, sick of all that they're doing. I don't know which, but if we think this isn't coming to our country, then we better just go ahead and vote Democrat. And not vote at all and say, don't worry, it doesn't affect you or me. Really? Like, it's not affecting me personally. Because it's going to start to, and for some it certainly has started affecting them personally. So that's all I really wanted to go over today. Had a heck of a time doing any of it live, so I've recorded this, and maybe that's just how it's got to be from now on. But I appreciate those of you who are following, who are liking, and who are sharing. But let's keep doing that. Share it. Even if you think no one sees your Twitter, they do see it. So share it. Even if you think no one sees your Facebook, they do. So share it, please. And have a blessed day, guys. I really love you and appreciate you, and glory to God that He's brought you to me. And I hope that we continue to be able to do this for a long time, and that something happens where YouTube has to allow it. I just hope so, and I pray for it. Okay, peace, guys.